Hi, and welcome to this week's True Crime livestream. I'm FEARSONA, you can call me Fear, Sona, Red, and I'm your... I fuck it up always. I'm your friendly neighborhood True Crime VTuber, here to give you full body chills. And I love how Kanta immediately just goes, this one shouldn't be too graphic, I think. Hey, you never know with me. I understand the uncertainty. You never really know with me. I might just say like, okay, yeah, unmute your video. It's not gonna be graphic, and then proceed to describe the most graphic, violent murder you've ever heard of. Yeah. Also, I can see that someone commented. Oh no, Kanta also said, wonder how Fear's. Wait, what was it? What was it? Wonder how Fear's French is like. Listen, let me tell you this. Let me put it this way. My French is like a cookie that wants to be a biscuit, but it's not quite there. Like it's ambitious. It wants to be a biscuit, but it's not. So it can't be what it isn't. Okay? This is just the you know, the exact description, like how I feel about this. I will try, you know, like a cookie that tries to be a biscuit. I will try, but don't get your hopes up. Okay? Don't hold your breath. It's gonna be... I apologize in advance. It's not gonna be good. Kanta said, Hello Kitty will forever be ruined. Nice. And DJ, hi! And I see that Andy is here. Nice. And Ruin is here. Some of my patrons. Nice. Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Gilberto, hi. There she is. Hey Sona, how you doing? I'm okay. I'm good. I'm actually hyped because in this case we have another angry mob and I am here for this. Okay, I am definitely here for this. You guys are gonna love it. There's some intrigue. There's some murder. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's some murder, like murder snuck in. Mostly it's about the disappearance of the Whitebird plane piloted by two French guys. I'm gonna describe it, but I'm gonna talk about it in a second. But first, let me read some of the chats. Right, this isn't the Hello Kitty murder. It's not. But I guess Kanta is referring to the fact that I was you know, I told people in my bonus stream on Patron when I was discussing the Hello Kitty murder that, oh, you know, please mute your video because there's a graphic description. And then I described the crime scene and, you know, the murder, and then I said, okay, you can unmute the video. People unmuted, or like you know, Tyrant said to the chat, okay, you can unmute the video, and then I immediately just continued describing the gruesome details, and I was just like, well shit. Already sounds interesting. Yo, the moment there's an angry mob in the case, I'm just like, this is my type of case. I know it, and also it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be epic. Okay, so before we start, oh wait, Nicholas, hi Nicholas, and okay, oh that was a message from you, game leader. Hi, yo angry mob time. It is. And Demon Taker says, oh, angry mob, let's go. Max Jervy, I love your streams. Nice, thank you so much, Max, and thank you so much for being here today. I'm glad that you like my streams. I hope you will enjoy this one. I don't know. Listen, I don't want to be like disrespectful to the case and to the people who went missing, but by being so like giddy, I feel like I'm super giddy, but it's a crazy case, and I enjoyed, you know, like I enjoyed writing my notes. I enjoyed researching the case, and I think you guys will enjoy the story. And Joker Mage, hi. Hi, thank you so much for joining the stream. Osamu Dazai. Wait, is it Dazai Osamu? Okay. I think I've heard this name before. Isn't it like a Japanese writer, or I swear to God, that was a Japanese writer or author. Can't wait to see if this is very graphic or not very graphic. It's not gonna be graphic. I can tell you it's not gonna be graphic. It's just gonna be weird. And Pitako, hi. It was definitely an experience, the Hello Kitty stream. Oh yeah, that was a handful. If you also join the Patreon, you too can have third-hand trauma. Yeah, like, be warned. Okay, so about the Patreon, yeah, if you join, my Patreon, you will get access to a library of streams, the past streams and past cases that I've covered that are not available and will not be available on YouTube. And additionally, this month I am running a limited time offer on my Patreon. So if you subscribe at the $5 tier, you will be given, or you will be sent Fearverse welcome package with a letter typewritten and signed by me, as well as a sticker. And if you sign up as the $10 tier and above, you'll get the letter, the sticker, and a Polaroid, and all of which were drawn and made by me. So I think it's a sweet deal. Yeah, I can just briefly show you guys. This is the sticker. So that was drawn by me. It's the Angry Mob sticker, so that's what you're gonna get. Like, if you're the current patron of yours, obviously you're gonna get it, and if you subscribe on the lowest tier, you're gonna get this plus all the perks. And as for the Polaroid, this is the illustration, also drawn by me in the form of a Polaroid. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And yeah, this ends on March 31st, so there's less than 2 weeks left. So be warned. No, actually, there is 2 weeks. I guess there's... No, less than 2 weeks left. Okay. Okay, so, again, if you want to subscribe and support this channel, thank you very, very much. And I hope that you guys will enjoy all the bonus streams. As I said, it's the library of streams, the past streams, as well as access to a weekly bonus true crime live stream. Okay, without further ado, let me switch to my murder board and let's get right into it. So, many of you probably know that the first pilot to ever make the transatlantic route in one go was Charles Lindbergh, who started his journey in New York and reached Paris after 33 hours and 30 minutes of flight, breaking the world's record. But what you may not know is that there is an unsolved mystery hiding in the shadow of this success story. Two French pilots, World War I aviation heroes, attempted to make the first non-stop transatlantic flight before Lindbergh, between Paris and New York, 12 days before Charles Lindbergh. So they disappeared right before this success story. Flying their biplane called the Whitebird, the two pilots took off from France on May 8, 1927, and were last seen while flying over Ireland. They never made it to New York. But how does the state of Maine play into this case? The plot thickens there, and there's a lot of moments when the plot thickens. This is the story of the Whitebird's vanishing. So everything actually started with a competition. The first 2 decades of the 20th century were revolutionary when it comes to aviation, the technology, with machines breaking speed, altitude, and distance records all around the world. The greatest challenge for many pilots at the time was to be the first one to make a non-stop flight over the Atlantic Ocean. And in 1919, a New York hotel owner and a wealthy businessman, Raymond B. Ortigue, announced that he would give $25,000 to the first pilots who managed to fly the distance of 3,600 miles non-stop between New York and Paris, or vice versa. So this was the route. However, at the time, no one could achieve the goal, so in 1919, no one succeeded. So the offer was renewed in 1924. Most of those who attempted the flight would start in New York and head to Europe, but two pilots from France would take on the challenge in 1927. One of them was Francois Colli. At the time, he was 45 years old. He was a war veteran who received the French Legion of Honor Order of Merit. Francois was an extremely experienced pilot who had broken records before during his flights around the Europe, the Mediterranean Sea. He was more than interested in the transatlantic challenge since 1923, and at the time he was planning to fly with another war veteran, and his name was Paul Tarascon. Tarascon. I don't know. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it, the right way in French. Also, okay, I'm just gonna go over the story a little bit further, and then I'm gonna just comment on something because I cannot. Unfortunately, their planned flight never came to be due to an accident in the late 1926 that destroyed their biplane, and Paul Tarascon was very badly injured and burned in the accident and stepped down completely as a pilot. Like, he couldn't fly anymore. Which is questionable because Francois Colli had one eye. I don't know about this. I would be maybe a little bit concerned, tiny bit concerned, if I knew that my co-pilot had one eye. Just food for thought. I mean, there is a reason why the requirements for pilots are so strict now. Okay, so at this point, Francois teamed up with 35-year-old Charles Nagesser. I think that's how we pronounce it, Nagesser. Another experienced pilot, often referred to as the, quote, flying ace, end quote, the best of the best among the French. Huh. So, one of them has one eye. And mind you, Francois Colli was supposed to be the navigator. I would be a little slightly worried. A little worried that my navigator has one eye. I mean, I don't wanna discriminate. Maybe he was an excellent navigator, excellent pilot, back in his day, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of like eyeing that eye. Side-eyeing that eye. Okay, so on May 8th, 1927 at 5:17 a.m., Nagesser and Colli took off in the Whitebird biplane from Le Bourget field in Paris, heading towards the Atlantic and eventually New York. The flight path was intended to be a great circle route, first heading for the English Channel, then over the southwestern regions of England and Ireland, next across the Atlantic to Newfoundland. And then next, they would fly over Nova Scotia to Boston, and finally land in New York. Wait. Let me just read some of the chats, because I know that people are gonna comment on that eye. Like, Gilberto, damn, I might have to watch this later. I'm at work and it's kinda busy tonight. No worries. Hey, no worries. Later is fine. And follower of the twin goddess. Nice. Goddesses. I know the pain of not being able to watch the streams at work. Aw. Game leader. Only one eye means one less eye to get distracted. Probably. Oh my god. He was a sky pirate. Also, look at the picture of the Whitebird. It had the pirate skull. I don't know, man. This is kind of like asking, a little bit, like asking for it. Little bit. Sky pirate with one eye, and then the pirate skull with crossed bones on the plane. I'm just saying. It's just a little bit concerning. DJ, wait, right. Meh. Where's your sense of adventure? The adventure. DJ, it's the 1910s. Nobody cared. That is a valid point. Demon Taker says, hope it's his good eye. I think the fact that we're talking about the vanishing of this plane says it all. Fanta says, hey Francois, keep an eye out for me, will ya? I don't want to get blindsided up here. I'm sorry, but it's just so funny. At the bottom of the ocean. Nice. And then RJ says, the idea that you need two eyes to pilot a plane is a popular misconception. Your other senses will naturally compensate for any lost eyesight, enabling you fly by touch or echolocation. So the moment you lose an eye, you basically turn into a... what? A bat? I don't know. RJ, I don't know if you're being serious right now or if you're like fucking with me. But like... listen, I don't wanna... obviously, I don't wanna say that I don't believe you. I'm sure you have... you know, you have a point. But I would be a little worried flying with someone who claims that it's gonna be okay. I'm like a bat. I can echolocate everything. It's okay, I'm gonna get you to New York by touching the clouds. And yeah, echolocation. Definitely will work. You definitely do not need two functioning eyes for that. Okay. But back to this story. So, they were first escorted to the French coast by 4 military aircrafts, led by French Air Force pilots, after which they were on their own. The next sighting of the airplane was noted in his log by the commanding officer of British submarine HMS H-50, observing the plane 20 miles southwest of Needles in the Isle of Wight. And the last sighting of the white bird was in Ireland, over the town of Dungarvan and the village of Carrigaholt. Or I think it's Carrigaholt or Carrigaholt. The 2 pilots were never seen again, even though at the time no one knew the tragedy that followed. On the other side of the ocean, crowds of tens of thousands of people gathered in New York City, wanting to witness the record-breaking arrival of the 2 French pilots. They filled up Battery Park in Manhattan. The plane was supposed to land by the Statue of Liberty, and everyone wanted to get the best view on the historic moment. By that time, for some reason, and don't ask me why, I have no fucking idea. I mean, I can kind of get why, but like, I don't know what's the thought process behind it. So the French newspapers already reported about the successful landing of the pilots in New York, even though the white bird had not been spotted anywhere near the city yet. And there were some rumors that the plane had been spotted along its planned route in Newfoundland or over Long Island, but those were never confirmed. Those like sightings were never really confirmed, like 100% confirmed. And yet the plane did not reach New York, so France was way ahead. They were just saying, and this newspaper actually says that Nagisset and Polly succeeded. So obviously they were way ahead of people in New York that hadn't even seen the plane by that point. So the white bird was carrying 4,000 liters or 1,100 gallons of fuel, which basically would give it about 42. Sorry, why am I pronouncing it like that? I have no idea what happened. So it would give it about 42 hours of flight time. But the thing is, hours passed, the 42-hour mark had passed, and there was no word from the aircraft. At this point, it was known that the airplane or the biplane had been lost. And this is where the French angry mob steps in, because French people, at this news, the fact that the plane never reached New York, were outraged by the false reports by the newspaper La Presse. Because, you know, that was the newspaper that basically went right ahead and reported, oh yeah, it was a success, they landed, I don't know, like, hooray to France. But it was just simply not true. So, people were just pissed. Even though, you know, like they, at some point, the crowds were so pissed that they stepped out onto, like, into the streets. They started demonstrations against this news agency, against the La Presse news agency, and they were like, you bitches lied. We've had enough. You insulted the whole of the people of France. They were a little dramatic, but yeah, they were basically like, you insulted the whole nation of France. You insulted us all. We're the laughing stock of, you know, of the whole world because, oh, you know, people were saying, oh, press in France basically already said, oh, it was a success even though the plane actually disappeared. So yeah, angry mob moment. Go French angry mob. If I may say so. Viva Révolution. So now we go on to the search. Mind you, again, this is the picture of François Colly and Charles Nagesset. Again, one eye, sky pirate, and a coffin, and the skull. I think it's asking for it just a little bit. Why? Can you not, like, put, I don't know, wings? Wings. Put just a set of wings on this plane. A set of wings. Not a skull and a I just noticed this is a coffin. Could it be foreshadowing? I don't know, but it looks kind. Come on now. Come on now. You're like, I wish this was fabricated. I wish this was a Photoshop. It's not. It's not. It's just like, it's too good. It's too good to be true. Viva la French. Viva la France. So, pitchfork-shaped baguettes and flaming scarves, basically. RJ, people had to be over-dramatic back then. They didn't have TV or video games. They needed a hobby. French angry mob. That's what we call commitment to a bit. Jesus. Game Leader says, think they reported about the future destruction of their newspaper office before the mob showed up. That was a extreme foreshadowing. Damn. I know, right? Dale says, oh my. Goodness. He flew with that as his insignia for World War I. Oh, okay. I guess it makes sense, but then he became an ace under that insignia. I guess that would make sense. But that's the thing, like, I don't know, like, it's at least, like, if the war is done and you're about to just break the world record, maybe add those wings. Maybe. Just out of, I know maybe you're not superstitious, but like, just to be careful. Just in case. Definitely Sky Pirates. I know, right? Like, it's just too perfect. Okay. So this is a flying coffin. Yeah, it was. Don Ho, hi! They knew what was about to go down. I think there was an unconscious feeling. Subconscious feeling. Alrighty, so, as I said, French angry mob, pissed at the newspaper. They were like, you have disrespected me greatly. You have humiliated me. I shall never forgive you. Go down. You know, shut up. Never publish a newspaper again in this country. Okay, so the search was launched from both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, including the French Navy, US Navy, and the Royal Canadian Navy that searched the waters on the northeast coast of the US, the area of St. Lawrence River and Labrador, assuming that the plane crashed into the ocean. Meanwhile, at the same time, there was a pilot named Floyd Bennett, and he was a well-known US pilot who was tasked with searching the area between New York and Newfoundland, and continued the search for 9 days, but with no success. The search was eventually abandoned, and 12 days later, it was overshadowed by the successful landing of Charles Lindbergh in Paris, taking away the dream of Colly and Nagesset. mind you, this is the last time I'm gonna... Oh no, that's not the last time that I'm gonna mention Charles Lindbergh, but there's a story behind Charles Lindbergh for another time, and I just discovered it, like, literally before this stream today. I just came across the fact that years after, you know, like, Charles Lindbergh obviously was a legend. He made the flight. He made this transatlantic flight. Great for him. That was in 1927. Mind you, 1932, so a few years after, 5 years later, his baby son, Charles Lindbergh Jr., was abducted. So he was abducted. The baby was abducted, and then 2 months later, the baby turned up dead, and there was like ransom notes, some mysterious like ransom notes involved, mysterious people involved, never found. There was like this case was never solved either. Like, who killed Charles Lindbergh's son, who abducted him in the first place. So that's a mystery for another day, but like, I just discovered it and I was just like, holy shit, the plot really thickens in this one. Did you not know about the baby sauna? No, I didn't. I did. For some reason, I knew about Charles Lindbergh and his, you know, his flight, because that's famous. That's what I learned in history. They never taught me at school that, you know, in school that his baby was like abducted and murdered. Jesus. I was just like, holy fuck, this story just took a whole new, you know, plot twist. Okay. This is also in Murder on the Orient Express. Well, I never knew. I don't know how. I can't explain it. Like, how have I never come across this case? But yeah, I've never come across this fact. Okay. So, as I said, the missing French pilots were basically overshadowed by Lindbergh's success. And, you know, the search was abandoned ever since. I mean, until years later, but ever since it was basically abandoned. So, the official belief was that the White Bird simply ran out of fuel or had technical issues and crashed over the Atlantic Ocean. Simple. The story ends there, right? Not exactly. At least 12 witnesses claimed to have heard the French aircraft flying over Newfoundland and the state of Maine. Some witnesses located in Harbor Grace in Newfoundland said that they saw the white aircraft circling around in haze of fog that day. So that day, May 9th, 1927. The local newspaper even wrote about a mystery aircraft, since there were no other planes on the island and no planned overflights that day. And that would mean that the White Bird was behind schedule. At that point, if it reached Newfoundland, it would be at the 40th hour of its flight. Around the same time, fishermen of the Newfoundland coast were reporting the weather turning cold, the fog setting in, or setting, you know, above the ground, with very tough conditions and strong wind, which would basically cause the plane's delay. So that makes sense. Oh, thank you so much for following. So this made sense, you know, like the plane was being delayed by the weather conditions. Sorry. Let me go further. Oh. Okay, so some people would later theorize that the White Bird must have made a water landing, and the crew was safe but living off provisions. This was later debunked by the engineer Henry Bardou. And he said that if that were the case, the pilots would not have a way to empty the fuel tanks, and the weight of the gasoline would basically pull the plane under immediately. That would also diminish the pilots' chances of survival to pretty much zero, because they would die of hypothermia. On May 18th, a report came from the captain of the steamship Biplane. This steamship was going from Rotterdam to Boston. This captain reported seeing a wreckage 100 miles offshore from Boston. He also noted that the wreckage consisted of natural colored wood, quote, 20 feet long and 5 feet wide, with cross and transverse ribs similar to an airplane wing, end quote. There were several attempts to bring the wreckage on board, bring any pieces, but after failing, the ship simply moved on without ever confirming that this was actually, like, what kind of wreckage this actually was. So it was never confirmed whether or not these pieces, these elements, the wooden elements, did belong to the Whitebird. And then there was another rumor. On the same day, May 18th, 1927, someone allegedly found a message in a bottle on the English shore of Port Caris. The message was rumored to have been written by Nagesser, and it allegedly read, quote, landed 75 miles latitude of Ireland. Engine trouble. W.H. Nagesser. Finder, please communicate with H. Lawrence, Royal Air Force Secretary, London, end quote. However, this note was never confirmed to be authentic, and I honestly couldn't even find a photo of this note, so whether or not it existed, we might never know. And then rumors started. So the Whitebird's disappearance fueled a number of theories. And I gotta say, people have or had some wild imagination. Some would say that the two aviators were shot down by rum runners somewhere in the middle of Atlantic Ocean. Another rumor said that the French pilots ended up in Canada and were living, like, after they ran out of flares, like, you know, the emergency flares, they basically settled down in Canada and they were living with indigenous people, I don't know, getting all kumbaya. Those are some of the wild kind of rumors. Then, in 1930, a story started circulating about the engine of the Whitebird having been found in Maine. While in 1948, there was another story about how the Whitebird's wreckage was located in Great Gull Pond in Newfoundland. None of them were ever confirmed, or at least they were proven. Like, none of them were proven to actually be the Whitebird. And then, in June 1980, so years and years, decades after the catastrophe, the Yankee magazine published an article titled, quote, "The Unfinished Flight of the Whitebird," end quote, in which a witness named Anson Mary labeled, he was basically a hermit, residing near Machias, Maine. So he claimed to have heard the aircraft flying, or rather spiraling down over his isolated camp near Round Lake on May 9th, 1927. So he never saw the plane, but he did describe it as, oh, the sound that the plane made just sounded like there was some trouble with the engine. So it wasn't just a regular flight. So he said that day there were thick clouds in the sky and fog covering the area, so he couldn't see the biplane, but he was absolutely sure he heard it crash in the distance. He heard it crash. Yeah, so he heard it basically crash in the close distance. At the time, he did try to follow the sound and locate the crash, the crash place, the crash site, but he ended up being unsuccessful. Many started investigating this allegation, and soon more and more reports from people saying they had seen or heard the plane over Nova Scotia on May 9th and in all sorts of places heading down towards eastern Maine have erupted. And then this eventually prompted the French government to launch an official investigation in 1984, which high fucking time. All those years, almost like nearly 60 years. Jesus. Nearly 60 years after the crash, after the disappearance, and now they launched an official investigation. So they launched this investigation with more and more reports convincing them the two pilots could have reached Newfoundland but crashed over Maine. Over the next few years, multiple attempts were made to search the areas in Maine and Newfoundland in hopes of solving the mystery. Even Nagesser's relative, William Nagesser, made several trips to Maine in the 1980s to help with the search, but he did not find anything. One of the organizations to join the search was NUMA, which stands for National Underwater and Marine Agency, which was led by a novelist and explorer, Clive Hustler. So this organization is private, non-profit. It was founded in 1979, and it was dedicated to, quote, preserving our maritime heritage through the discovery, archaeological survey, and conservation of shipwreck artifacts, end quote. NUMA was responsible for numerous findings of wreckages around the world, including the infamous ghost ship Mary Celeste and RMS Carpathia, the first ship that came to Titanic's aid. So they had some very, very notable finds. NUMA launched an expedition named Midnight Ghost in order to find the Whitebird. And the name came from a comment made by Charles Lindbergh at the time, back in I think years after his flight. So this was a comment regarding the disappearance of the two French pilots, saying that the plane and pilots, quote, vanished like midnight ghosts, end quote. In 1992, divers were sent to search Great Gull Pond in Newfoundland, but that was deemed unfruitful. Over the years, numerous wood and canvas pieces of what could be the Whitebird were found in Maine and Newfoundland, which would indicate the plane did in fact make it to the continent, but had likely had some engine troubles and crashed. And I can see, wait, let me just pause for a moment. Game leader, this plane crashed into the ground a lot for a plane. I know, like, there were a lot of areas in which, like, supposedly, allegedly, the plane crashed. So most of them were very, very likely hoaxes. They were not true. Game leader, I think enough time had passed for any clues to be lost, so we can start searching now. I couldn't express it any better. You know, this was definitely the mindset of the French government. They were like, has it been 60 years? Has it been 60 years yet? Okay, now we're good. Now we can do it. Now we can go. So in about 50 years, we looked for Malaysia flight 370 again. Mark your calendars. Seriously, yeah, that's another mystery that's, I guess it's been abandoned. And I bet your ass, like 50 years from now, they will be like, oh, we're launching a full-on investigation. We need to know what happened. 50 years too late. Is that really a reason to wait so long? I have no idea. I have no idea what was actually the reason. I guess because there were so many attempts back in 1927, maybe they just gave up. They were like, I mean, I guess they didn't have technology back then to like search underwater as much. I don't know. I have no idea. It's the French government. Ghosts. Yeah, they were. I'm pretty sure it's aliens or ghosts. Okay, so as I said, over the years there were so many reports on about wood and canvas pieces of what could be the Whitebird that were found in Maine and in Newfoundland, but as I said, like, they were never really like confirmed 100% to be the Whitebird. And in Maine, pieces of struts, basically those, like, the struts are bars forming part of a framework of a biplane or airplane, and they were found in May with wood that was identified as similar to that of a machine like the Whitebird. It's not that it was identified as the white bird, but it could be. Later, some engine metal pieces were located near the town of Machias. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. So some residents even claimed to have seen the metal object, which was described as a really large motor, I guess, which had been dragged out of the woods for salvage. So basically it could have been the engine of the white bird, and it was just dragged out and, I don't know, like for salvage, for parts. But again, none of that was ever 100% confirmed. And the only known fragment of the white bird is the landing gear that was dropped on takeoff in 1927, and is currently displayed in the French Air and Space Museum in Le Bourget Airport in Paris. Nagesser and Collie became the heroes of one of the biggest mysteries that occupies minds to this day, challenging explorers, adventurers, and just, I don't know, like mystery enthusiasts to attempt to find the white bird. But as of today, the case still remains unsolved. And that's pretty much it. That's another mystery, just like the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. You know, that's pretty much the same. So many of those like mysterious plane disappearances, vanishings around the world. Some might say it's the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know how it would play into this, but maybe it moved. Okay, so that is it for this case. I hope you guys liked it. Let me just quickly thank all of my Patrons for supporting my channel. Again, this wouldn't be possible without you guys. The money from Patreon goes usually to my YouTube advertising, which means your contribution directly supports growing of this channel. And obviously, I do want to thank everyone who watches my streams, who is here every time that I stream, that I discuss cases. All of you who subscribe, thank you so much. But I just want to list out all of the Patrons that support my channel financially. So Colonel Turtle, Tyrant Kitsune, Zinc, Scholastica, CW, Esau Benrostro, Rudel Genoodle, IDK Bacon 53. I'm sorry, I'm just like, after talking about this case and talking about the Jack the Ripper case yesterday, I'm just like, my throat, my tongue, my throat, though they are just refusing to cooperate. IDK Bacon 53, Jacob Ian, Holmes's Apprentice, Nonan, Emmanuel Cadet, Windstorm 555, Ian, RJ, Ashley Houston, Sienna, Connor Campbell, Ubak, Kronos, Hex Gengar, Beverly, Eric, Leonovsky, Gravesinger, Brandon S, Kanta, Gon Puppy, Ryoki, Racer 7331, Alpaca My Bags, Rune S, I cannot with this name, Christopher McCanns, Calf, Ann Wynn, I'm sorry, Andy, I'm sorry, I know that I probably butchered your name. Dale Angiano, Chris, Hopeful Space, Pitako, Kai Masamune, Kyo, too etsy for you. You guys, you're killing me with these names, these usernames, Jesus. Leon, thank you so much for the kind words. I love each stream, not gonna lie. Thank you so much. And Leon also said Maine and Quebec are bordering each other. Oh yeah. Also, you guys fucked with me. Like, someone was fucking with me. They were like, when I announced that I was gonna do a case from Maine. Okay, actually, let me switch to the chat room. So actually, before I announced, like, when I announced that I'm gonna do a case from Maine, who was it that was fucking with me? They were like saying, oh, Maine is not a state. And I seriously started doubting myself. I was just like, my god, goodness, like, did I really not know that Maine is not a state anymore? Or have I been lied to? Like, they were basically saying like, oh, Maine is actually part of Canada. And I'm just like, what information do I have? Like, what? Was I lied to? Was I deceived? My whole life I thought that Maine was a state and then it's not? Okay. Osamu Dazai says, that was really good. I do wonder what happened. Also, I made my account Dazai as he is one of my favorite characters in Bungo Stray Dogs. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. It was, I think Osamu Dazai is also, or Dazai something. It was also a writer. May have been. I don't know. I might be wrong. Weird laws. Yes. Yes, definitely. I did not forget. We're gonna do this. So, weird laws from the state of Maine. Okay, buckle up because this is also crazy. Apparently, also, mind you, these laws may or may not be in function right now or in the criminal code still. I'm just reading the most ridiculous laws in the state of Maine that, you know, may have been functioning at the time, back in the day. Okay, number 1. It is illegal to bite a landlord under any circumstances. What made this law came to be? Those, I don't know. Man, people really bit people? Like, was that necessary to be made into a law? Like, did people in Maine have so little common sense that they would just bite people and, like, an actual criminal law had to be made? God damn, what's happening in Maine? So you got bullied on Maine? Yeah, basically I got bullied on Maine. I was just like so unsure before streaming. I was just like, man, I have to double, triple check. I really need to make sure if this is actually a state. It's Maine. Okay, that explains everything. It's Maine. That's why people just bid their landlords. I guess okay, to be fair, listen. It would be justified. I guess I can see why someone would want to bite their landlord if the landlord suddenly increased their rent. Okay, if there was a skyrocketing rent increase in Maine, I can see why people would be a little upset. Why people would be like, I'm gonna... Or maybe the people were just like saying to the landlord like, hey, why are you increasing my rent? I'm not gonna pay you. Like, I don't have money for this. And the landlord would just respond, bite me. And the person would be like, okay. Sounds good to me. Okay, the next one, number 2 is, it is illegal to park your horse upwind on a windy day. I mean, this is, I get why. This is likely because, you know, horses don't exactly smell like freshly baked cookies, okay? Horses do have a strong smell. I see why people would not exactly want them to be, you know, parked upwind. That's smelly, you know, smelly horse. See, that's what the landlords do. They jack up your rent and then make it illegal to bite them. I know, atrocious. Atrocious. That's injustice. I think that's injustice. I think it should be completely justifiable to bite the landlord if they increase your rent. They were going 25 miles per hour in Maine back then. Too fast. Another horse law. Good. Yeah, seriously, horses had it tough, man. In the States, every state had something against the horses. Jesus. Something against horses. I don't know. You have to reevaluate yourself. Some of the states have to really reevaluate their I don't know, their opinions on horses. Okay. Number 3. It's unlawful to tickle a woman's chin with a feather duster. Well, for one, because some people may have allergies, so that's not very nice. For 2, I don't know, man. It's horses and women. Like, the laws against, like, you know, kind of basically criminalizing touching women or smiling at women or talking to women you don't know. There was a law. Wait, was it in Arkansas or was it in Kentucky where you're not supposed to, like, talk to women that you don't know in the streets? Okay. Yeah, another one. Another great example of, like, laws in the States. No, that's definitely an anti-kink law. Oh, I mean, I can see a feather duster being a kink. That's fair. Okay. Advertisements may not be placed in cemeteries. I mean, whoever places like ads in the cemetery, you have issues. Please don't do that. You have issues. Also, why? Why? Who's gonna see them? Dead people? Ghosts? Are you targeting ghosts? Is your clientele unless okay, hear me out. If a medium posted an advertisement on the cemetery, that makes a little bit more sense. To me, I think that's a fair game. You know, the medium be like, you wanna contact your family member, your living family members? Call this number or like come to this address. That makes a little bit more sense, but otherwise, no ads in the cemeteries. Damn, Maine shaming my feather duster and stinky horse kings. I know, right? I'm okay with this law. Right? Like, if it was like, oh, with the exception of, I don't know, like medium, the paranormal mediums that just, you know, contact the ghosts, the ghosts beyond the afterlife. What if you're a necromancer looking to ramp up business? I thought this was a free economy. Okay, necromancers and mediums. I think that's a fair game. Because it's the right... Where else would you post your ad? It's the right clientele. The ghosts. The cemetery. Come on. Come on now. Logic. Okay. Let's see what's the next one. It's illegal to park in front of Dunkin' Donuts. Apparently, Article 3 says parking, standing, or stopping... Okay. Oh, or stopping... Oh, okay. Parking, standing, or stopping. Section 15, parking prohibited. No person shall park a vehicle at any time upon any of the streets or parts of streets described. Main Street, west, in front of Dunkin' Donuts, to a point 25 feet south. Okay. I guess Dunkin' Donuts is off limits. You can't park there. And what else? What else? You're not supposed to gamble at the airport in Biddeford, I guess. Okay, I mean, who gambles at the airport? Who plays poker at the airport? I don't know. What the fuck? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's like more of those. Yeah, some of those are just like, they make sense. Okay. There's one that's my favorite, and it kind of relates to this case. Apparently, it is this is the law. It is unlawful to step out of a plane during a flight. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I mean, okay, skydiving. Maybe that's like an exception, but who the fuck think? Okay, who gets on a commercial flight and is like, I'm gonna step out for a smoke? Makes it like DB Cooper. That makes sense. Makes so much sense. 5 a.m. Drinking is allowed in airports. Oh, good to know. Good to know. Good to know for the future. Okay, RJ says some cop was totally like, we need those spaces open for us. Let's make it illegal to park there. I can see it being The Simpsons kind of law. We specifically Dunkin' instead of a vague donut store. Why specifically Dunkin'? Oh, sorry, why? Did people actually try this? I have no idea, but it's just like, make it make sense, you know? Make it make sense that there had to be a law created to specifically state, do not get out of the airplane when it's flying, mid-flight. Don't do that. Yeah, I don't know how does this make sense, but it made enough sense for people in Maine to make it into a law. Okay, that's it for today. Again, thank you so much. And if you want to support the channel, if you miss me sometimes, because, you know, sometimes I do take a couple of days off, but if you miss me and if you want some more of that true crime, unsolved mystery vibe, you can go over to my Patreon. You can still catch the limited time offer with the sticker and the Polaroid that's gonna be sent to you. Again, that's gonna give you access to a library of past streams, all the cases that I've covered. Mind you, there are some pretty interesting ones. Like, I just covered Jack the Ripper case yesterday. The last week I covered the Hello Kitty murder case. Then I covered like all sorts of cases, and it was pretty wild. I covered the Kenrex McElroy case, which is another angry mob case. So there's a lot, and those are all in the the backlog on Patreon, so you have access to all of them, and you gain access to weekly bonus true crime live stream. So obviously, you get access to anything that's gonna come in the future too. All right, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Wait, planes were really luxurious back then. Damn, the plane passed the guy's house, so he wanted to get off. He was like, yeah, you can drop me off here. No kidding. Horse on a plane, parking at a Dunkin' Donuts. Man, you're wild. That's like life in prison. Kanta, FYI, it takes extreme levels of strength to open a plane door at high altitudes. Yeah, I've heard about that. When I was reading the DB Cooper case, that was one of the aspects. Like, it's not that easy to open it. Almost missed my stop. Jumps out of a plane. I love the stream, Red. See ya, guys. Thank you so much, Dale. Okay, thank you so much again for tuning in. Please do take a second to like this video if you did like it. If you didn't, hey, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. But if you did like it, please take a second to like the video. It really helps YouTube algorithm to boost my channel, to push it a little bit more. So again, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows, throw away your axes, and don't jump out of a plane. Until the next time. Farewell, feelings. Bye.